What's up, everybody? It's Albert Kemper with the CantinaMX podcast. We are going live on episode 192. I'm here with Joel. What's going on, Joel? How you doing?
Doing good, Chickies. Getting ready for a weekend of a lot of football here that we have that's starting on Thursday. Getting ready for a weekend of
Hold on a second.
a lot of football. Oh, wait, we didn't start?
Yeah, we had an echo. All
Oh,
right,
we're starting again?
no, we're good. We're good. I had an
Oh,
echo. You didn't hear that?
I was hearing myself talking. I don't know.
Yeah, I had to mute it. We're good though. Yeah, so a lot of news to cover. Um, so first off, on the list of things, we got. Do you want to cover the world Super 8?
Yes, sir. We have the Under 20 World Cup. Starts on Thursday with Mexico versus Italy. I think the games are available on Fox Sports and what is it, Univision?
Yeah, well, in Spanish it's Telemundo and Universo.
Oh, Universo. No, sorry, not Univision. Yeah.
NBC, Universo, Telemundo, those guys. So they'll be showing the games upcoming on the 23rd, I believe.
Yes, it's on the 23rd. On Thursday, Mexico opens their group stage against Italy. And then on the 26th, they play Japan. And then on the 29th against Ecuador. So this is going to have, the two big names for Mexico, Linus and JJ Mack, who had a standout season in Liga MX. And he will not be playing the final, which, you know, the León versus Tigres. And it's also on the 23rd, the first leg at the Universitario Stadium. And so he left. He left to join the under 23. So let's see if it affects him or not. But
Yeah,
how do you see this young Mexican team?
I don't know if I agree with that. It's a bummer to see Macias leave Leon, and him miss out on getting a potential. Because I actually think they have a very good chance of winning this championship.
Yeah.
The Tigres. So it's sort of a bummer to see him miss. And then I believe Sambuesa was red carded in the last game. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we're getting you.
But yeah, it's a young. I mean, Linus is good to see, although many people wanted him in the Gold Cup. Macias up top should be pretty good for him. Um, I don't know too many of the other dudes, but it should be interesting to see what they do because this is just under 20. These guys are actually the ones that should be making names for themselves to be uh, like getting plenty of minutes in the Liga MX and getting their names out so that they could be soon to be on the senior team.
Yeah, games should be good games though. These all of these teams ended up top of their groups in their respective qualifiers. So, you know, I don't think there's going to be any easy games, at least not on paper. So we'll see. Good luck to the tricolor. Let's hope they start off with the right foot. And one of the hopes for Macias that why Leon let him go is to get that international exposure. And if he impresses, we might be seeing him heading to Europe soon.
Yeah, I'd be a little surprised for that, but yeah, if he shines in this tournament, that'll definitely boost his potential. So they play Italy, And this is in Poland, so we're looking at European times. Mexico plays Italy at 6 o'clock on the 23rd. So that would probably be during the daytime. Italy, the big name, of course. Then after that, they play Japan, and then they play Ecuador in the group stage.
That's right, Chiquis. That's right. So other big news from, I would say, was yesterday. On Monday, we had the big, the big meeting from the owners. So there was a reunion of Liga MX club owners, and they set the agenda for the next tournament. So here it goes. We have a list. We got our hands on one of these lists. Atlético San Luis, they were promoted, so they will be joining the first division. And Veracruz, who were relegated, they were allowed to pay a fee, so they are remaining. So we're going to be having a league that is 19 teams, and which means that each week one team is going to they're going to get to rest. They won't play a game. So I don't know. We'll probably be seeing a lot of amistosos there. That's what they usually do. They schedule a friendly in the U.S. So we have that. So 19 teams to be played for the 2019-2020 season. Each team will have 1 week off. They'll get a furlough. And then the other big change was Copa MX. It's no longer going to be 2 cups per year. It's just going to be one. Just one cup that's going to be played from the 30th of July until the 15th of April. And it's going to consist of 27 clubs, 15 from Liga MX and 12 from second division. Those were the main cambios. Chiquis, any thoughts?
Well, I haven't really thought too much about the Copa MX, but that seems pretty interesting. It's a large group of teams playing there. I think
Yes.
it's good. I know John tweeted out on the Cantina account that he likes it a lot, so I think it could be interesting. We'll have to see if it generates more popularity.
Yeah, well, we've seen that teams have begun taking it more serious now. We've seen fans of the clubs accepting it more. Same fans that would make fun of anyone that won it, but then when their club wins it, they're celebrating and showing off. So obviously, it's gotten to that point back from when it was relaunched that more fans are taking it serious, and the clubs know that, and that gives, it opens up opportunities for the team to have more success throughout the season. Instead of having only one chance at one championship, now clubs get to compete for 2, and then later on maybe three campeonatos a year, be it the 2 ligas, or if you're playing a Conca champion or this Copa MX. But I think that's a way of making it a bit more prestigious, So I like the cambios too. We've discussed this many times here, at least in way earlier shows. Our one hope was, a cup that had all the teams, even going down to third, fourth division, and single elimination. Who knows? Maybe one day. Never say never. There's another cup in the works that was already approved. I just don't think it's been made official, and it's MLS Liga MX Cup. And I think it's only going to have 8 teams, 4 each.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, but they haven't said much about that yet.
They said
Um,
I think it's going to be, uh, I have the article up. It's contemplated to be the Campeones Cup between MLS and Liga MX teams, but it's going to be I guess announced late in the next coming weeks.
yes. Yes, it will, Chickies. What was already announced, and we're gonna jump back into selecciones, is the League of Nations. So for Mexico, it's gonna start in October. Um, so it's a CONCACAF Nations League. I said League of Nations. It's Nations League, and so Mexico goes up against Bermuda, the mighty Bermuda. I'll be scared to travel there, Chiquis. I would, I
Okay.
would not want to play them, um, just because that whole, stigma of the Bermuda Triangle,
Yeah.
which is probably not near that country. Anyways, so Bermuda versus Mexico on October 11th. That's and then on the 15th of October they go up against Panama, and then is it on November? Yes, on November they play Panama again, this time in Panama, and then they close at home against Bermuda. So those are Mexico's games for the Nations League, which would have, normally those would have been amistosos, but now, because Europe is doing the same thing, having their own League of Nations, so we took a page off of that. I don't really know how I feel about this. As far as Mexico, just as a Mexico fan, but seeing it as a fan of you know, maybe not a fan, but like knowing that Mexico is in the CONCACAF region, this is a good way for the region to grow and for these teams to have these type of games. Because a team like Bermuda wouldn't, to play Mexico on a friendly, it's just rare. It's just not gonna happen, you know. But the more you play these type of games, uh, it allows for your players to develop and to get more exposure. If you have a if you have a good player in your squad, he looks good playing against Mexico or against the U.S. or what have you, and then they're likely to get picked up by a good club.
Yeah. The only thing I see is with like I remember maybe 5 or 10 years back, Gold Cup or yeah, Gold Cup was always the. I mean, sometimes it was even a struggle. Like when Cuauhtemoc was I think it was a Honduras guy was blowing kisses to Cuauhtemoc and he elbowed him in the stomach. There were some tough group matches that Mexico had to get through to eventually win or get to the final against the U.S.
Yeah,
And then now you see all these players just like Chicharito, Hector Herrera, and all these guys just like we're not going. Or there's injuries, and so Gold Cup isn't really a priority for these dudes.
yes,
This
yes.
cup is like
I think you're opening a different kind of worms there, Chiquis.
well, this
We
cup is
went from League of Nations to Gold Cup.
well, no, I'm trying to compare because and then now we're talking about League of Nations, which is like Gold Cup B or like a lesser level.
Yeah,
But it is. I mean, I agree. Like you said, it's gonna bring. You're not gonna have the European players playing this. I don't think maybe one or two, but you're
yeah.
gonna have these young guys trying to prove
No,
themselves.
but I mean, I think if I'm not mistaken, because a lot of these games are going to be played during it's when the teams will play their friendlies, and I'm not sure if this is during the FIFA, if it falls right into. See, once again at the cantina, we didn't do our homework, or if it falls right into the FIFA dates. Because if it falls into the FIFA dates, then you could call in your players from abroad, and because and as we were saying, in Europe they're going to be having the same thing. They also have their own, and they've already been playing games. They've already been playing their own Nations League. So I mean, I don't know if they're gonna want to come. Who knows, man? Cause see, a lot of times when they come, when these players come from abroad to play amistosos, it's not so much, especially if a player is already, um, if it's already like a key player or one of the main players for the selección. What they're coming is like it's all promotion and sponsors. That's more of a bigger part of what they're doing, and just going into the whole players dropping out of the Gold Cup. That's been one of the things that's been talked about. That there was um, this how do you say it, man? I'm at a loss for words, chiquis. I'm not even drinking.
Mhm.
Uh, there's been a oh man, some of the players with the federation about it's kind of like an argument over like
Dispute.
over the huh dispute. There you go. It's a dispute. God, I'm limited in words right here, chiquis. Yeah, there's been a dispute, so it's like it's saying it hasn't been blown up, but I mean that's some rumors there that some of the players haven't been happy, and I had read before how they wanted one time Chicharo to go film a commercial, and he was like, I'm not getting paid for this, and this is not why I flew over here. So that could be one of the reasons why you do have some of these players that don't want to. The other reason is some of these players rarely get the summer off. If you look at like, I think it's Herrera, no, not Hector Herrera. Who's the guy going to? I think he's going to Roma. Who did he sign with, Chiquis? He,
Ooh,
he's the only one that left. He's the only one that put a letter explaining why he's not taking up the call.
Oh,
It's Cepillo. No, no, Chiquis, come on, man. We're letting our listeners down.
it's on the tip of my tongue.
It's at the tip of your tongue.
I don't remember.
Too much albures there, man.
Herrera.
Oh. Huh?
Because Herrera's not coming.
Hector Herrera. I'm confusing him with another one. But yeah, Hector Herrera. He. If you see his career, he's he's played every summer tournament with Mexico since 2012.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, dude, why can't expect that much from this guy that's he's about to jump finally, go to another club after overstaying his welcome at Porto, where he was only supposed to be for like 2 years, and he's finally gonna play at another club, and he needs that time off, man.
Yeah. To verify what your question was, okay, so the amistosos are 9. Oh, wait, that's in June. There's an amistoso on 10 September in San Antonio. The the opponent is unknown. So that's one date, and that's 2 days after. Oh, wait, Mexico plays on 5 September. Oh no, never mind.
Never mind.
They play, they play October, November, and yeah, they play in November. So yeah, these are separate. There's no don't have an amistoso schedule for the times that they're playing, and
Yeah, but we have to keep in mind there's the regular amistoso, and then there's a FIFA date.
yeah. So
And when Mexico usually gets all the other top players is on the FIFA date. And then the other ones, the regular amistoso, that's the traditional molero.
let me
That's when you'll see Mexico playing some countries under 23 or
Yeah, in September there is FIFA dates for 2 through is it a range 2 through 10 September? Partidos oficiales o amistosos. Yeah, so it's the 2 through 10 September, and then October 7 through 15 is a FIFA date, which the 15th is when Mexico plays, or the 11th is when Mexico plays Bermuda. And then 11th through 19th is another FIFA day in November. So yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. There's a ton of stuff going on in the summer. I guess, yeah, I agree. Hector Herrera, all these guys. I just see them devaluing the Gold Cup.
Well, yeah,
And
I mean,
and especially against these teams, and no disrespect, but these teams aren't as to the skill level that they could risk injury. Even in amistosos, they risk injury. They go back to their club, or like you see uh Chucky Lozano, who's on crutches or on a crutch,
yeah,
who's going to
and
play
it's
the Gold Cup.
yeah, and it's 2 Gold Cups per cycle, so it's not like there's another one you could play later on.
Yeah,
It takes away from the tournament because two, man, these guys already have a bunch of those under their belt. It's like, okay, I don't want to play. That's the thing with Copa America, why they were trying to do it like that, and then they got rid of that idea because uh, it was devaluing their tournament. When you had, I think it was it the first one. Well, you would see how in some of them the teams would just have like B teams. They'll send like their second-hand players, and only one of the cups was where you would see all the top players. But now the way they went back to the old format, and then it's the teams bring all their top stars.
yeah. And this is pretty much okay. So like, this is what I see the League of Nations. A bunch of wait, where is the calendar thing? Okay, so basically you have United States, Mexico, Honduras, Costa Rica. They have these group stages, which I'd be willing to predict that all four of those teams advance, and they all begin because the semifinals is winners of groups. There is no
There's no quarterfinals.
there's no like second
Just
place. You either win
you
the
go
group or
straight
you're
to the
done.
quinto partido, chiquis.
Yeah. Actually, is it quinto? Yeah, well, semifinal or is that quarterfinal?
Who knows, man?
Sexto partido, man. It's straight to the partido.
To
So
the sexto partido.
yeah, dude.
God damn.
So like
If
you get first
only
place
that
in
happened
your group.
at the World Cup.
Yeah, you get first place in your group, or you're done. So
Okay, so yeah, Mexico should be able to handle that. You know, remaining Bermuda and Panama pose no threat. They could send Chivas. They could send Chivas team for that.
yeah.
Watch him not win. So
And then you have the team John's hypes on is Curacao, who's on the group with Haiti and Costa Rica.
that's right. That's where we're gonna get to see what some of those teams are made of. And but you see, Chiquis, that's what helps some of these teams because then they play these before they just had that one tournament, which if they were lucky to make it to the Gold Cup, that was their big break. And a lot of times, well, they rarely would. But now you have these two tournaments, so that's where like if Curacao looks good during the summer, they could follow it up with the League of Nations, and by the time you have eliminatorias, a lot of these teams están más fogueados, they're better prepared,
Mm.
and it should be more competitive. The only downfall is that well, not so much of a downfall because we're seeing more teams going to the World Cup because of the extra tickets, because World Cup going to 48 teams. But having this more competitive games for these small clubs should mean that by the time if one of those gets to the World Cup, they they will be better prepared.
Yeah, I don't see any of these teams like the. Yeah, I don't see any of these teams ever getting to a World Cup anytime soon. Well, I guess well, you mentioned the expansion of the World Cup, so yeah, that's I guess it's a possibility.
Yeah.
More teams in the World Cup. A Canada can make it. A Panama, Trinidad.
Oh, they will make it, Chiquis. They will.
So yeah, that's the League of Nations group winners. All four of them go to the semifinals, and then the winner of those go to the final. Uh, yeah, no third place match from what I can see. Hold on a second. Yeah. So we got League of Nations. We covered U20.
Covered under 20. We covered the new, the
The
updates from Liga MX, and I have one more, Chiquis.
yeah.
One more straight from the Lavanderas. Um, this is that TV Azteca has sold Atlas. They sold them to Grupo Orlegui. So Grupo Orlegui, some of you guys may not know who that is. They own Santos. They bought Santos, used to be owned by Grupo Modelo, which was the beer company. So, and they've been pretty successful with Santos. You know, the way they've structured the club, and they fixed the stadium, and their youth setup. So they've done a really good job, and I imagine Chafla fans are going to be really excited about this. Uh, to have competent owners running their club for once, which,
Mhm.
yeah, they own everything about Atlas.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I guess we'll be seeing more news about that, like what's going to happen, because I know Rafa was in there. Is Rafa still going to be part of that? I imagine they will keep him just because he's a big name. But I think Grupo Orlegui is going to be doing a better job of bringing in refuerzos and and better coaches.
Yeah, they need to do something because Atlas is pretty embarrassing. They
Yeah,
get bullied too much.
yeah, man, TV Azteca dropped the ball. I thought, I expected more from TV Azteca. I don't know why, given that they were running Morelia and that team had not achieved anything of note, uh, except reaching a final, something like 10 years back. Uh, but yeah, TV Azteca just did a big mess. Uh, so yeah, Grupo Orlegui, and this is one of the things we wanted to talk about. How in the past Televisa owned more than one club, and the media and everyone would attack them and talk about corruption. But now we have Grupo Pachuca that owns Tuzos and they own León, and no one really says anything about that. And now Grupo Orlegui too has two teams in first division, and again it's kind of like they're getting praise. So
Yeah,
it's you see some of that negativity. It's usually the media just attacking.
yeah. So that'll we'll see what comes out of that. See if Atlas improves or what happens.
You know what? I do think they will improve. Uh, I do see them, and especially, they have just the way they manage to improve their youth setup, and Atlas historically has had a good youth setup, and I think that's something that's gonna benefit them. Be able to work off of the both, kind of, not too different from what Pachuca's doing, and how they're able to have even León do good. León, of course, playing the final right now.
Mhm.
They're about to play the final, and it's a team that not too long ago was won other campeonatos.
Yeah, so a few years back that one. Yeah, so that's some news. What else was there? I actually want to mix in if now's the time. That other thing we weren't.
Liga MX Femenil, chiquis.
Yeah, because that sort of goes into something that I'm always interested in, the Mexican
Okay.
Americans.
They, they, they eliminated the group stage of anyone keeping up with Liga MX Femenil. No more group stage. They're going to have a general table, tabla general, and liguilla, same as Liga MX. That's the big news for the females.
Yeah, and they're also, let me see if I can get this right. They're also going to allow registration of
Oh, that's
six
right.
um, older and six older player mayores, and then six Mexican Americans. Because before, we've never talked feminine, but before the league only allowed Mexicans, not Mexican American girls to
Wait,
play.
you mean the female league?
Yeah, the female league, the
Yeah, no foreigners,
no foreigners.
including pochos.
Yeah,
If you were
exactly.
born in the U.S., you were
Uh,
excluded. So you mean that they're opening their arms?
yeah, they're opening them to six, to just six
Okay.
per team, which is, I guess it's better, but everyone was sort of, well, not everyone, but there was people up in arms a little bit about the exclusion of Mexican Americans, and this coming from, of course, the English raza, the English people, English speaking media, I guess. Hashtag El Tri English, English, all that group. So, of course, they're Mexican Americans, so I guess they got that bias. Um,
Yeah, I don't see why. If you, because Mexico just doesn't have as many opportunities as as you have in the U.S., or there's just way more competitive from not just from high school, but also even like the collegiate level and semi-pro teams, and that's sort of like you just don't see it in Mexico. Just recently is this Liga Femenil that popped up, but before that, I mean, you know, you had to like just fight for scraps. So I get it why they wouldn't want, they
opportunity.
would, yeah, they would try to like for the local players because I mean, think about it. How much more difficult is it going to be for some girl in Mexico if they're competing with like a I'm gonna say a pocho that's that's just better prepared. It's gonna go and take their chance.
Yeah, and you can correct me maybe if I'm wrong, but I believe, and I don't know if it's the same now. I believe majority of the girls on the national team are Mexican American, have been Mexican American.
Oh yeah, since it's become more competitive.
Yeah, and so
But that's a big reason why. I mean, because Mexico lacks a lot of that infrastructure at the female level.
yeah,
Uh,
cultural issue things I think also, but yeah, I think it was good initially for the league to start just with Mexicans to give them their opportunity to shine and 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 it advance in their skill. And then now, of course, the Mexican Americans can come in and probably take their jobs, take their starting take their starting roles, put them on the banca, which is
well, god dang. Well, we'll see how that evolves. We'll be seeing it throughout the year, chiquis.
yeah. So so next, what do we have? Are we at the final yet?
Yeah, I guess we could talk about the Gran Final. But first we had what Leon. Leon. They lost to America 1-0, and but so it was 1-1 global, and they advanced to the grand final, and they're going up against Tigres, who who uh, beat Monterrey 1-0. So both teams advanced. The global was a draw,
Yeah.
and the both teams that advanced was because they were the top on the table. León being first, Tigres second. Uh, so yeah, that's kind of tough. I mean, personally, I wouldn't want teams advancing on a draw, you know,
Hmm.
but that's just how it goes. Maybe they'll change it one day. They did change the final because even that used to be all the way till the final. It doesn't count anymore. But I would prefer it if they took that away. I mean, I was hearing a lot of the news, the Mexican news outlets, and again they like to hit America, and they were saying how it was a fracaso. And it's like they get away with saying that because they could say, okay, not not winning the tournament is failing to meet your objective. So that's fracaso failure. That's where the failure is at. So it's like, okay, fair point. But if you look at America's season, really isn't. I wouldn't qualify it as a fracaso. As a Chivas fan, I would have liked Chivas to have done something like that. And to be eliminated on a 1-1 draw, it's not like you're going to hang your heads in shame, and say you failed. Uh, I just think that's just part of what hurts a lot of times the Mexican football, the way we start seeing the game, and that whole what we qualify as fracasos is just pretty absurd. Same
Yeah.
same with Monterrey that you know they also and then similar to America because Monterrey won the Conca Champions and then they were eliminated on the 1-1 global draw, and so they were saying that it was also a fracaso. But I mean they achieved some good stuff throughout the season. And America won the Copa MX, which it was missing from their vitrina, the relaunched one. They have a bunch, but from the yesteryears, so they got a shiny new one. So I mean, I'm sorry, man. I don't agree with that whole kind of defeatist mentality. It's just too much kicking dirt while some team is in the ground, especially when they've been doing good. Those teams we talked about, they've all been doing good. They're pretty consistent.
Yeah. And well, I would say that America was playing a man up for about 10 minutes, I believe.
Yeah.
And I'm watching the replays. Ruben Sambuesa is going to miss the first game against Tigres. He was red carded.
Oh
America
man.
went up early in that match, and they just needed one more goal to advance. But yeah, they had about 10 minutes up. They had the whole second half to get one more goal, and they just couldn't do it. And no one advances. So um,
How much do you think it's gonna hurt Leon to be missing players like Sambu and JJ Mack?
yeah,
I
that's what I'm
mean,
saying.
two big players, man. And I had Leon to me, Leon was like I see them as hungry and just wanting it more. And but missing these two players, I don't know. I might have to give the edge to Tigres now.
Yeah, the only thing, especially because Sambu was so vital in the first leg, he got that assist to JJ Mack for the goal. Um, he's always dangerous on passing and everything, but I think with Mena still there, Montes,
Yeah, big
Maltica,
player, man.
I think
Yes,
they still have a good
Montes.
edge. It's gonna be tough, and then you have Tuca making things, putting in guys like like Ronaldo Jr. What's his name?
I
Uh,
don't know. You're talking about the
guy takes
toucan.
the guy takes off the shirt, shows his six pack. Jurgen Damm. Jurgen Damm
Oh,
going in the game and like crossing crossing balls into orbit and stuff and like
he's
taking
got the
he was
crossing skills of a AYSO under 12 player.
yeah man, it was bad but yeah I still I have my doubts with Tigres but they seem to get the results. I still want to say I like Leon to win it but it's a bummer that I mean Ruben Sambuesa, that's a red card, but taking away JJ Mack, that I think was sort of I mean
Well,
that
it's and it's it. I have to ask you, Chiquis, is it a one game suspension or is it a 2 games?
I think it's just a one from what he was
Okay,
saying.
yeah. Okay then. Okay, he'll be available because let's keep in mind Leon will close at home, and it's one thing about Tigres is they haven't always been dominant at home. You know, we've seen them in some finales, like when they played Chivas. You know, so so they haven't always been this team that you go to their stadium and they could crush you. Uh, you know,
Yeah,
so I still for Leon, any Leon fans out there, I think there's still a chance. Well, there's still a good chance, but I mean, you want all your players always to be available. Um, but Tigres is just that stacked. I do think they have a lot of quality there. So it should be good games. I want Nacho to win it, man. I think that guy he deserves some glory.
yeah, this would be a great season for them to win the first top of the table and then the
Yeah, well he'll become legendary in that team just because of the whole 12 game win streak, scored the most goals. He put some records and then Nacho's name's gonna be right there, dude. I always remembered
I don't know,
to the
man.
Leon faithful. Well, they don't know the Nacho, huh?
I might I might I don't know about that. I think they're gonna brush over the coach. They're gonna be like, who was the coach back then?
No, nah, people remember just how Chiva fans you know, still talk about Mati,
That's different though,
and
man. That's
that's
different, but
different.
a lot.
No, man, come on, it's not that
It's
different.
a lot. I mean,
Uh,
like if Nacho can get like a say he gets a Copa MX win next season or something, or like a Conca Champions, he gets a few more titles with Leon. He'll be at a and then maintain some good seasons, some good regular seasons, not like horrible losing streaks and never winning at home and stuff. Um, Mati has the aura that surpasses, I think, a Nacho.
No, but I'm saying this was just an epic season for Leon, just because everything that they achieved and not much was expected at the beginning. So for him to be able to get all of that, I do think he will long be remembered if he
Yeah,
gets that just that one. I mean, people still remember the La Puentes Atlas. They didn't even win.
Atlas. How do I even play the intro? I forgot. Yeah, so first leg, Monterrey. Second, Leon. There should be a pretty good contingent traveling to Leon also from Monterrey. And the Tigres fans tend to do that. Um, yeah, so that should be an interesting final.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will, Chickies. Yes, it will. It's gonna be a good It's gonna be excite. Uh,
What else we have?
Does that offer the noticias?
I believe so. Let me
Well,
see.
big news. Yeah. Let me see. We do have Pumas has a new coach, Michel. Did we talk about that already?
Yeah, we talked a
Last
little.
week? Oh man, yeah, we did. Okay. I just saw him today. They were interviewing him. He's talking about how Pumas needs to be aggressive with or without the ball. And then they were showing some goals he scored when he was with Real Madrid and when he was at Celaya. He's getting a good treatment there
Yeah,
coming in.
that's good. He needs to be motivated. Get these guys moving.
Yeah,
It'd be nice to get a better player. It's sort of funny to see Nico Castillo get a lot of hate from not producing. I think everyone's complaining he had one shot on goal,
yeah.
but
No, but I'm saying like if you're a team like Pumas and you're one of the teams that you rely on a small budget and you're going up against these other teams like Santos and Pachuca. Those are the ones you're competing with normally for one of the top 8 spots, you know. So so to see, for example, Chaplas get that economic boost, it should be a little bit worrisome. Should be like, hey man, we need to step it up. Maybe I wouldn't say worrisome, but it should be a wake up call of like, hey, we better get our shit straight, you know. Try to just open up the coin purse and bring in some better players, or else we're gonna continue to struggle down here. It's the same for Chivas, you know. So Chivas from time to time is able to like make these big big investments. The only problem with Chivas is they can't hold on, you know. They
yeah,
they could make it like once, but then they can't. It's supposed to last kind of long, and then that's it. They won't have enough money to maintain it.
speaking of Chivas, I believe I saw a picture of Pizarro back with Pulido and I think it was your boy.
Güero,
Yeah, Guerrero.
El Güero Fierro. Yeah, they were hanging out at some restaurant. Yeah, it said good times or something like that. Uh, yeah, I don't know what's going on with Güero Fierro. I know he was at Morelia. I don't know where he's been at.
I was thinking of Pizarro. If only Monterrey would have advanced in America would as well. It would have been Pizarro versus America, and
Well,
maybe he would make some outrageous comments like he did.
you, well, interesting you bring Pizarro because I think going into the Gold Cup, and when you have players like Chucky and Vela and Chicharo and all of these big names not not showing up, I think this is going to be the perfect the perfect tournament for him to carve his name into the three and fight for a spot to be one of the main guys. So he definitely has the talent. So I could see him. I could see him being, if he has a really good tournament, he could link up well with RJ9.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
could I could see him that he's gonna become one of the next heroes for the selección.
possibly. Hopefully, they need somebody like that to do well. All right. Anything else you got?
Um, what else do we have, Chiquis? Let me see. Let me see off of the top of my head. We did a pretty good job covering some of these topics right quick. Um, yeah, That's the main thing right there.
Yeah. All right. Let's go check out the Twitterverse. Uh,
No, those were pretty much the main topics. I think after the after the season ends, we're gonna get all this flood of rumors of refuerzos, and you know, we're gonna see how teams, what teams get. Some teams are already picking up players. Chivas brought back Toño Rodriguez, who was a Lobos Buap. He was at, promising goalkeeper that was at Chivas, and he lost the spot to Cota, and now he seems to have another chance to to earn to earn his place.
yeah. I guess their previous goalkeeper was a little.
Coutinho,
Yeah, Godini was he?
he's
No, I
he's
think
still
shaky at times, right? They took him off for a game, I think.
he's no. Well, see, the thing with him is he's still pretty green. If you
Yeah.
see how many games he's played, first division, it's not that many. So I mean, he was still making some mistakes, um, which was something that was happening with Antonio Rodriguez, who he had like one or two really good seasons as a very young keeper, and then when Mati came, he benched him in favor. He went in favor of Cota, who was just a bit more experienced, and Cota just owned the spot, and we see Cota right now with Leon. He's
Yeah, he's doing well.
playing another final, so he's and then you know Toño just didn't know how to react to that, and that's when Chivas tried getting rid of him.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
I guess we can close it out. Uh,
yes, sir.
the uh, the Liguilla Final is when? Is it this
Chiqui, it's on Thursday. You
Thursday?
mean the main final?
Yeah. So Thursday and Sunday.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So two big games on Thursday. Sub-20 versus Italia and León versus Tigres.
All right. We will stay tuned and possibly podcast that evening. See if anyone else is around. Um,
Yeah, that would be nice. That in game,
I guess
watching the games. Huh?
my final thought would be my prediction is going to be still. I think Tuca is running out of ideas,
He's
running
become predictable.
out of steam, running out of mental awareness. And I think Leon's going to take it, even missing out on their two players. Well, at least one of them for the first game in Sambuesa, and then Jaden. I think they and they win the title. So that's my prediction.
I agree with you. I do see León as being the more hungry team, um, and I think that when they play that game at their stadium, I could see them. But who knows, man?
Yeah.
Because Tigres just has the type of player like Gignac, even like Edu Vargas
Mm-hmm.
that
They could
could
show up.
just, huh?
They could just do something brilliant all of a sudden.
Yeah, they'll just pull something out of their ass, man. It'll change the game. They're that talented, even though a lot of the times they don't seem like it. And we saw it with Gignac when he scored that very nice, what was it, scissor kicks
Yeah.
against Rayados. Everybody was wondering why Tuca just played him for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, there you go. Decisions. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, more of that Tuca.
Alrighty. Well, I guess we'll end the podcast there. Thanks everyone for joining and listening. I broadcasted this out on Twitter and live on YouTube, and then we will post it on the iTunes and podcasts centers tomorrow. So thanks everyone for listening. We will see you guys next time.